The following first seconds of this video contain explicit language. Can I just start off by saying how fucking glad I am that 2016 is going fast for me, because after hearing about the death of Christina Grimmie, I'm fucking sick of all this shit that has gone down this year, and that's honestly not talking about any personal shit at all. So, I'm not an active YouTuber. A lot of you might know that. And another thing you might not know is that I've had roughly 6 YouTube accounts. There was one I started everything on, a backup for that one I made to end up being my permanent account. Then there's this one that actually ended up being my permanent account. And, well, I guess it's technically 5 because this last one is tied to the same email I'm using this account on, but it's focus more with my Google+. Anyways, when I started YouTube, I was influenced by quite a number of accounts. A few were gaming accounts. One was by a group now known as We Like to Play, and honestly gaming was the main focus of my channel back then. Others included other gamers such as Chucky Conroy and Nintendo Capri Sun. As for the music of my channel though, the influence has mainly been by cover artists which were popular by the time. One was a guy known as J. Ted the Anonymous, and another one but known by D Sharp. But one singer I remember was a person whose username attracted me due to my love for The Legend of Zelda, which when you'll see won't be a pun intended, since her username was in fact Zelda X Love 64. Better known now, well was, as Christina Grimmie. One of her earliest videos I remember watching was a cover of, okay, let's see, Firework or Grenade, Edge of Glory, Set Fire to the Rain. Well, it was one of those. So here was a person who loved The Legend of Zelda and was an amazing singer. I remember seeing a small Link plushie as well as her Triforce shirt in a lot of her older videos. Another thing, however, that really got me into her channel was this.
Yo, Skrill, drop it hard.
So sometime later, she released an album. This album was called Find Me, and this was her first album she ever made. It was this album that inspired me to put more of a focus into music. Because believe it or not, I actually did not like music, and this is Don't Ask How, that's not the point of this video. So the title track of her album, Find Me, I ended up making a mix, I should say, because this was the time where I thought a mix was like, oh look, it's just edits and whatever. This was 5 years ago, so this was just horrible. Anyways, so when I made the mix and made a video of it, I actually sent it to her on a private message on YouTube when people actually still did that, to see what she thought of it. And however, I have no way of knowing if she did or not, which is probably good in the fact that she doesn't get to hear the awful edit I did to her song. I've seen Christina Grimmie grow up on YouTube to be well known and even go on a tour with Selena Gomez years ago on the Stars Dance Tour, if I recall. I remember hearing that she was going to be on The Voice and how excited I got to know that someone I know from YouTube, who has already been growing a huge fan base, is going to get even bigger, since The Voice does that with everybody. And even though she came in 3rd place in The Voice, she was still good and loved by a lot of the members of The Voice, whether it's the judges or the fellow contestants or even the audience. And being in the final 3, that alone is an accomplishment in my book. And hearing that Adam Levine offered her a record deal on his label was just incredible to know that she's still going to get famously acknowledged because of the fact that Adam Levine believed in her. And to think that the end of her life would come at the age of 22 by a person who just came up and shot her after her performance in Orlando, where she and her band stayed to sign autographs and sell merchandise. One of the reasons this really hits home for me is because of the fact that I currently live in Orlando, taking classes in a college. So being like even near a place that she was at was where she got shot and killed was hurtful for me. Definitely glad her brother stopped the victim from doing any more damage or killing to anybody else, except for the killer himself, who chose to kill himself. When I first got home and I hear the news about Christina Grimmie being shot, I was waiting hours to know what was going on. I was on the search page for Christina Grimmie on Google, just refreshing it over and over again to see any new updates. There are a lot of people already proclaiming that she was dead, I believe an hour before the statement from her rep that said that she was dead, as well as news sources and the Orlando police Twitter. And when I did see that, I was devastated. I didn't want to believe it, and I honestly could not sleep for the rest of that night. She accomplished many things. She grew a large fan base. She received many love and support from not even just Selena Gomez and Adam Levine, but from other artists and voice contestants. Well, voice contestant, the one I found being Allison Porter, and artists being Demi Lovato, Victoria Justice, and even Max Joseph from Catfish. And what really touched me, that meant a lot to me, was fellow YouTubers that were showcasing their love for her, for knowing who she was. Like one guy being GCPM11, who tweeted her YouTube account name, and others being Luca Jin, Brizzy Voices, Trade Chat, and even Etika World Network. Deep down, I really wish I could have known her better to say something more than just that she was an inspiration. We were neighboring states. I lived in Pennsylvania. She lived in New Jersey, and I wish sometime down the way I would have been able to like make a song with her, or even just like produce or mix a song of hers. And my heart definitely goes out to her family, her friends, her fans, honestly everyone who's had the pleasure of knowing or even hearing who Christina Grimmie was, whether as Christina Grimmie or Zelda X Love 64. I'm also secretly wishing that this little wish of hers comes true. I would suggest if you wish to hear recent stuff from her, that you should check out her recent EP and maybe even buy it. It's called Side A, or even her first album, Find Me. And if there is a side B to come, hopefully in some way that there's a way we can be able to listen to it. Christina Grimmie, aka Zelda X Love 64. We will miss you.